'Tis the season to be merry, but too much merriment in driving is a major problem on our roadways. Someone is injured in a drunk driving incident every 2 minutes. In today's Injuries Are Personal with Carl Reynolds Law, attorney Carl Reynolds is here to remind us the impact that getting behind the wheel after drinking can have. How many drinks does it take? The magic question. But I only had 2.
Well, there really isn't a magic formula that can calculate exactly how many drinks it takes for you to get legally drunk. It's safe to say for every drink that you take, your alcohol level increases. I think there's statistics out there that say for every drink, your blood alcohol level increases by 0.05%. So it really doesn't take that many drinks to become legally drunk. The real secret is don't drink and drive. Just like my kids, you know, if we have a campfire, how close can I get the fire before I get burned? Best to stay far enough away where it's not a problem.
Just make it a non-situation.
Correct.
All right, now let's talk about marijuana, because as it becomes, you know, more prevalent for medical reasons or whatever the reason, what's the law? How do you get tested? Is it illegal? I mean, it's illegal to be on it unless it's medical. This is a big gray area.
Well, it's illegal to be impaired while driving. So it doesn't matter whether the source is alcohol, whether it's marijuana, whether it's a prescribed drug that affects your ability to drive. But there's some statistics out there that indicate that about 13% of the drivers at night and on weekends are high, have marijuana in their system. And marijuana users, regular marijuana users, are 25% more likely to be involved in a car crash.
Okay, and how is that impairing you? What does that do to my driving ability?
Well, it affects your ability to react. It affects your ability to be aware of your surroundings. Being under the influence most often affects reaction time, affects the ability to see what's going around, and we all know that there's no perfect drivers out there. Everybody, especially nowadays, I mean, on the way here, you know, I got cut off twice. So your ability to be able to stop and avoid those situations is greatly impaired. Recognizing red lights, I mean, that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, there's a lot going on out there.
Speeding, especially.
So when something happens, is that a person that just, you know, got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Good question. And I have the statistics written here. It's a person who gets pulled over for drunk driving typically has been drinking and driving about 80 times prior to the time they get caught. So this isn't one situation where I was in the wrong place at the wrong time and I got busted. No, this was a situation where it's usually habitual. It's something that's happened 80 times before you get caught that first time.
And eventually it catches up to you.
Eventually catches up to you. And you're fortunate if all you do is get caught and not on the wrong end of some sort of horrific accident.
Well, let's talk about the horrific accidents, because Florida law allows for a lot of punitive damages for anything involving a DUI. From your perspective and the legal end, what does that mean?
Correct. So again, the rule of thumb is don't drink and drive.
Of course.
I represent victims of drinking and driving. So if you're drinking and driving, you cause an accident, I'm going to get involved and I'm coming after you, and the law allows me to come after you because we want to discourage drinking and driving. So this is what the law allows. If you are intentionally reckless, which if having a blood alcohol level above the legal limit, it's intentional. Yeah. The law allows basically punitive damages. So it's not just, let's say that what you caused me in medical bills, future medical expenses, pain and suffering, let's say the value is $50,000. Let's just throw a number out there. Well, if you are driving under the influence and cause that accident, now I can add on punitive damages to that, which could be in the hundreds of thousands depending on how much the jury wants to punish your reckless conduct. So it does expose you. The other issue out there is insurance companies don't cover punitive damages. They cover liability. They cover accidents. But if you are intentionally reckless, they don't cover that. So you got to be careful out there, because now your assets are exposed. Now I'm doing asset search into how many properties you own and what things you own, because you have intentionally gone down a path of reckless conduct and injured somebody, and the law allows compensation for that.
All right, so obviously the best way to avoid all of these problems is to enjoy yourself and have somebody else do the driving.
Drink responsibly, have a designated driver. I don't want to be the Grinch that stole New Year's Eve, okay? So I'm not saying don't have fun. Look, I got my party tie on. This is for my kids, my favorite Christmas tie, day after Christmas here, but just drink responsibly and don't drive. Just don't do it.
Yep, lots of options to get help getting home.
Correct.
For more information about any of your legal questions, go to injuriesarepersonal.com. We'll be right back.